Thank you very much. This is my first time. Watched you on tape plenty of times. I've had my estrangeri weekends, getting better. My question that I have, I very much understand the contrast and going through that and trying to get more and more into the vortex. And that really...
And let's really soften that word trying.
Trying or getting into it, allowing myself. And my question is there not another way?
Yes.
Based on...
You could croak.
I understand that besides croaking.
That's like the jetpack on the boat.
Besides the croaking, where I'm using the analogy of like a triunity of three to make one, where you're physical, mental, spiritual. You've got positive, neutral, negative, where it's three to make one. So instead of just having the contrast of, I'll use the terms positive and negative, with there not a third way. Instead of, I'm not disagreeing with the contrast or going through it, because I can go back now and looking over my life and saying everything that I've gone through, both good and bad, has been actually very good because it's got me to where I am at this point. But
it's not even only that there is positive and negative, because that's far too cut and dry.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's that. So thinking about this vortex, it's a really good question. Thinking about this vortex and wanting to gain entry into it and wanting to vibe in it longer and milk it longer. So out here in what we're going to call negative emotion,
mm-hmm.
there is, the more negative it feels, the worse it feels. That is because it has become more specific. In other words, if you take a soft thought of something not wanted and you fixate on it longer, it will gain power because your attention to it will attract more like it to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it is always accurate to say that the worse something feels, the more specifically focused it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you could consider getting into the vortex by thinking specific, really specific negative over here where I don't want to be, really, really specific negative, less specific negative, less specific and negative, less specific and negative, less specific and negative, sort of general and negative, really general and less negative, really general and a little more positive, really general and a little more positive, a little more specific, a little more positive, a little more. In other words, the more you focus, the stronger it is. The less you focus, the less specific you get. So you're coming, you use the word neutral, we're using the word general, but specific and unwanted to general to specific and wanted. That's the basic process.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where we're at with most of our human friends. We're wanting you to get less and less and less and less and less and less specific about what you don't want. In other words, later gator. I don't have to think about this now. It doesn't do any good. This is like beating a dead horse. Making those kinds of statements to yourself. I do not have to think about this now. Withdrawing I'm going to think about something else now. And if you will take that deliberate and somewhat focused general approach, it is our promise to you that you cannot reside in that general place of less specific resistance without verging on the edge of the vortex and the vortex beginning to take you in. And once the vortex begins to take you in, you will, if you will allow it, you will feel the inspiration to become more and more and more specifically focused. And that really is simplistic as it sounds, the process. You see, what happens is when you really know what you don't want, you put a really specific desire into your vortex, but you don't have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could get general, and then the vortex could take you in, then the vortex will train you upward. Before you know it, you're specifically in harmony, in rhythm with what you want.